There we go. Okay. Get to my videos. All right. Hey, just gotta fix some stuff up real quick. Okay, that's been copied and all right. Okay, and right. Whoop, that's not what I want to do. On by. Okay, go to video details, copy link. Alright, just gotta put that out here. Okay, let me see here. Right then, cool. Alright, live button. Just make sure that's working. Okay, there we go. Cool. Okay, music still going. Alright. Hopefully I got this hopefully I can get this pose correctly as I'm trying to get. Oh, wait, hang on. Sorry, got a bit of a notifications here. Need to fix this up. Streaming trumpets done. Okay, copy and paste that. There we go. Oh. Ooh. There we go. Sorry if you hear anyone in the background. What happens if you live in your own family home? Alright, let's see. Make this a little bit smaller. Let's see, need another reference here. That works. Leave that in the back burner. I feel like it's been a little bit of time since I streamed. I think it's been... how long has it been? Let me take a look. Let's see, since June 6th? Been well over a week. Honestly, granted, my work schedule, I think I mentioned this once in my other streams, my work schedule ended up exploding on me. So I was busier than usual. So yeah, work was taking up nearly my whole week. Of course, there were other factors at play, but yeah, it was mostly just work. Trying to choose the right time of day to actually stream. That was a bit of a challenge. And I was like, you know what? I had a bit of a rough week. I just take this time to go on ahead and relax. Relax while drawing. Well, that's pretty much what I always do. Oh well, at least I got a consistent theme going on. Let's see, not sure if this will be a short stream or a long one. When it comes to that sort of thing, it's very unpredictable for me. Oh boy. One of these days, I'll see if I can stream an actual video game. On which one, though? I'm not sure. I do have a lot in my Steam library. Let's see. Recently, I finally not recorded. Recently, I finally downloaded the Cult of the Lamb for the PC. And also look outside. Oh, it's another good one. Oh boy. And what I love about Steam is their Steam sales. Making sure everything is still going. Cool. And Also, where or on which platform do I want to start recording myself if I ever want to do I want to play video games in front of a live studio audience. I know that Twitch is, let's see, pretty nice platform for anyone who wants to stream. As I said before, it looks like Twitch seems more like for the more well-known or popular streamers. Which is why, as of right now, I'll stick to YouTube. I guess in a way, I call this my own little humble beginnings. Huh. Okay, let me see here. Yeah, that seems pretty good. I'm very glad I managed to find some lo-fi streaming music with no copyright. Fix that up a little bit. And of course, I always give credit to the producers who make the music. Always put them right in the descriptions. You know, I actually wanted to stream yesterday, but honestly I started gaming instead. I guess it's because I was so tired. Because really, between work and life itself, it can get exhausting. And you know what another most exhausting part about all that is? I'm actually more of a daytime person. Not much of a night owl. Yep, I am indeed an early bird. Trying to get that shape right. As of right now, I can't talk too much about my job, because honestly, you don't know who might be listening. All it takes is for you to say one thing. But that might change very soon. Honestly, if given the chance, I would definitely try streaming almost every day if I could. And of course, I greatly appreciate to those who just stop on by just to say hi or just to peek in. I should really size that down just a little bit. Let's see. What can I talk about to pass the time for a little bit? Oh yeah. I suppose I could talk about certain types of graphic novels or Japanese manga I collected over the years. Because trust me, I have collected a lot. Turn down my music just a little bit. See, I got my top favorites. When it comes to manga, I have a big library. Although I did downsize during the past couple of years. Let's see, my top favorites that I would read over and over again. Let's see, there's this little series. It's only have 6 books for a Japanese manga, and it's called Girls Last Tour. I know they actually made an anime of that manga series about a couple of years ago. And it's one of those mangas that I can't help but keep reading over and over again. It's one of my favorites. Has a very simple art style and a story that really makes you think. And I won't spoil it too much. But Girls Last Tour, that manga is about, well, basically about these 2 girls who are traveling through basically a giant mega structure of a city. At least I call it a mega structure. They treat it almost as such. Where it seems like they're the last humans in that whole entire city, or possibly in that whole entire planet, and their goal is just to reach the very top of the city, since the city is built in layers. Oop. Lost a bit of a signal there. There we go. And what I love about that manga story is that, about Girls Last Tour, sometimes in an anime or in a manga, it didn't need, like, epic fighting battles or anything like that. The story is basically about the journey. And I wouldn't say it had too much detail in the art style, more with scribble artwork, but you can tell exactly what kind of environment or how the style was how you're able to decipher it. It was a bit easier on the eyes to look at too. Let's see here, trying to get the sketch correctly. Turn it just a little bit. But yeah, I really like Girls Last Tour. Like, if I ever want to unwind and read a certain manga story, that'll be the first one I always turn towards. Or at least one of the ones I would always pick up. Another one of my favorites is Blame, or Blam. Basically, Blame has an E at the end. But anyway, what's cool about that manga is basically, first off, the whole entire art style in general. I managed to find all 6 of the master editions. And, like, that whole entire story itself, it's a wild ride. Also taking place in a giant megastructure. A story about a man traveling through a giant, huge city that won't stop building itself inside of a megastructure. Just trying to find a way to find a pure human with a certain gene to get the machines to stop building the city. And the artwork of it all. Really love it. Like the manga artist or the manga creator in general did such a good job depicting the whole entire scale almost on every page. Seriously, when it comes to manga like Blame, it's almost like you turn a page and you find a perfect wallpaper. Let's see, what's another one? Okay. I do like Junji Ito's manga stories as well. I got Uzumaki, I got Gyo, or is it pronounced Gyo? I end up calling it Gyo or Gyo. I also have Tomie, and I got his mini stories. I have a collection of his small stories, like Shiver and Censor. Yeah, Junji Ito, as they call him, the godfather of horror manga. Let's see, what's my favorite of his works? I really do like Uzumaki. And I know if anyone out there knows about Junji Ito, like, knowing the meme, "This hole was made for me!" And blow this up a little bit. Even shorter. Let's see, what else? See, I got my collection right here. Oh, here's another old classic. I got the Scott Pilgrim. Got the full Scott Pilgrim series. That one's fun to read from. Let's see, read on repeat as well. And I got so many other more. And plenty of graphic novels as well. Even some indie ones. Let's see here. Make the head just a little bit bigger. Just let's see. We got some indie mangas right here. See, this one's a old series that I really love. And luckily, I still hang on to it. Let's see. I guess you can call it more of an Americanized manga. Called, I Love Halloween. And I got the ultimate, version, meaning I got the full series. That one was very interesting, too. See, I got Neon Genesis Evangelion. I got the full series of that one. And luckily I was able to watch the full series too, of the anime of that one. Oh yeah, another top favorite of mine next to Girls Last Tour is a small series called Alien 9. It's one of those hidden gems. See, most of these I managed to get from the bookstore, but for a couple of them I did have to look online and have them delivered, because sometimes they weren't, there exactly at the bookstore. But luckily you can ask the bookstore to have it delivered for you. And that is why libraries and bookstores are your friends. Making sure the video is still going. Cool. Jeez. I only have a very few volumes of One Piece, because there's no way I'll be able to afford to get the whole thing. And let's see. Oh, I do have a couple of Yu-Gi-Oh! Even Volume 0 of that one. Of which, it's amazing how it all started out and how it ended up. Story-wise, really. I find that one very fascinating. But I decided not to get the full series because, I needed to make room. Plus, I watched the whole anime of Yu-Gi-Oh! So that was enough. There was a couple of times where I tried to experiment and seeing if I can draw in the manga style. It is challenging. It is very challenging. But in a way, I much rather... Well, I can always mix up my styles, if I wanted to. Let's see, I do have the first 5 volumes of Made in Abyss. What I like about that story is, well, the whole mystery of the Abyss. And I really do want to see how it's going to end. Like, what's at the bottom of the Abyss? One of the biggest mysteries when it comes to that manga. And also, I saw the anime of that. Well, the first few volumes, when they did the first few episodes. I didn't see much of season 2, but I did manage to see one of their movie specials when it comes to Made in Abyss, when they reach the 5th layer, if anyone knows what I'm talking about. Not sure how that manga story is gonna end or how that story is gonna go, but it does have me intrigued to see how the ending's gonna go. Let's see. I even got some. Let me talk about more about the indie mangas that I have. Let's see. There's a very short series I have called Black Metal. There's also Death Jam. Those are kind of, very old at this point. But I'm sure you could still get them at the bookstore if you just ask them to deliver them. When I was a kid, I started off with the library, but then my dad introduced me to bookstores, and well, that was history. Let's see, what else? Oh yeah, of course I got the full series of Sailor Moon. Honestly, the Sailor Moon manga was one of my very first mangas I ever bought. And back then, they used to tie mangas together with glue and string. The old volumes that I have is already falling apart, but luckily I got the newer versions. And also Sailor Moon being one of my first real animes I ever was introduced back then. Oh, those were the days. See, it was between both Sailor Moon, the Dragon Ball Z series, and pretty much most of the anime that came out on Toonami, if anyone remembers that. Yeah, I've been collecting a lot of graphic novels and manga for years. I mean, don't get me wrong, I do like to read chapter books too. As long as they at least capture my interest. Let's see. I love the genre of H.P. Lovecraft. Say what you want about the guy, and of course I agree. But however, did introduce us to the Eldritch horror. And in most of my own stories, I kind of got inspired by that. Let's see here. Yeah, there's also, let's see, some stories I read from an author named Isaac Ishmael. His name's kind of hard to pronounce for me. But he mostly written sci-fi. I think from that author specifically, Ringworld was my favorite. And I used to read that all the time. And luckily I still have it. See, eventually I'll get the book I Have No Mouth and I Must Scream. As I know what the story, I pretty much already know what the story is about. It's nice to have a full physical copy of it. And also to challenge myself, also thinking about getting the book House of Leaves. Now that'll be an interesting read. Let's see, was there a manga series that I didn't like? Okay, I got this manga series when I was way younger. However, I mostly only bought it just to see, only just to see where the story was gonna go. Unfortunately, for this manga series, it's, add the parents' advisory on it. So, of course, it's over 18 and up. I think most mangas were and still now that way. And anyway, it was a series called, parent advisory here. It's rated 18 and up, or 16 and up, depending when it was published. But it was called Ikitosen. And let me just say that manga series had a little bit too much of the fan service. And the only reason why I started reading it when I was younger was certainly not for the fan service, I'll tell you that, because sometimes that was getting too much. But mostly to see where that story was going. And to tell you the truth, I guess the writer introduced so many characters and so many, like, plot elements into just one chapters at a time with each volume that, yeah. I pretty much quickly lost interest and decided to go on ahead and donate it. I will say the artwork for that series wasn't bad. Just way too much on the fan service. Let's just go with that. And I better stop talking about it too much, otherwise YouTube might strike me. Let's see, what else? I don't think there's ever been a manga story that I genuinely hated. I mean, I had a little bit of a falling out with a couple of them, but when it says absolute hate, like, nah, I haven't came across one of them yet. Although, granted, I did slow down when it comes to adding more to my collection. Nowadays, to save on money, I just try to see if I can find the manga online. Drone 2, hello, good evening. Let's see. Let's see, what other manga or indie comic books that I collected over the years. Let's see. Ooh. I love the comic collection Bone, if anyone's ever heard of it. Because that series was really good. And the fact they thought of making it into an animated series? That's so cool, but I think it's in, they call it a developmental hell right now. So maybe one day we'll get an animated series of Bone. Plus, I got the colored version. I know the comic version of Bone started off in black and white. So I got the more expensive one. Let's see what else. Oh, when it comes to chapter books, I got small series by Ronald Dahl, if anyone's ever heard of him. Let's see, he made the story of Matilda, the Witches, the Big Friendly Giant. He also made the story Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. So, like, yeah, I managed to collect those. Let's see what else. I even collected the old Disney fairy novels. The artwork in the Disney Fairies novels featuring Tinkerbell and her friends. I love the artwork. They look like real paintings. I even managed to get the art books for that series too. Alright, what else do I have? Yeah. Let's see, I have I have Fully Cooley, both volumes. That one's a very short manga series. Only just had 2 books, but still. I got the original. And the same creator also made Kyuko-chan. I think it's made by the same manga artist that did Fully Cooley. It's still only in just 2 volume books. It's one of those mangas that had a good running start, but then sometimes the manga artist or the creator in general has a hard time finding translators, and it gets stuck in development hell. Okay, let's see. Cool. This looks pretty good. Yeah. Let's see, Jean the Arc. I got that full series too. That one's another old classic. See, I got the book Coraline. One the movie's based off of. What else? Oh yeah, I got the full the full series of I Hate Fairyland. That series is a wild one. Oh yeah, I do have the graphic novel of. Let's see, I think it's pronounced Mouse or Mouse. And honestly, it's one of those books that they try to. I might as well open in a minute. One of those books they try to ban from local libraries. I mean, really, it's one of those stories that should be told in the library. Actually, it should be told everywhere and, checked out from the library. Let's see. I even have the graphic novel called Persepolis. Interesting fact about that one. I actually, let's see. When it comes to the graphic novel of Persepolis, I actually watched the movie first and then grabbed the graphic novel. Because I didn't know they made a comic of that movie. Till a little bit later. Let's see, what else do I have? I got so many. Yeah, I'm trying to blink. I collected so many manga and graphic novels over the years. Let's see, another comic or / manga artist that I like. Oh yeah. Let's see. Another Japanese artist that I really do like. She draws a bit more of the more adult artworks, if I had to say. Even though sometimes it doesn't really look at it, it's part of her psychedelic style. I see her name is artist known as Junko Mizuno. And I got a couple of her books. And part of her series is, let's see. Yeah, that's another manga series. Or, yeah, still counts as manga. One of her manga series that's hard for me to put down. And what else? I'm not good with real people names. Okay, more American comics. Let's see, I got a couple of Spawn comics, of which I really wish they can... Honestly, I wouldn't mind them making a remake of Spawn, if they want to, as a movie. Because that was a very good one. Oh yeah, I got both the first volume and the VHS of, let's see, another quote-unquote superhero, Americanized superhero, called, The Max. That one's really interesting. When it comes to DC and Marvel, I think I have a couple of, let's see, I got a couple of Spider-Man. I'm not sure if I have any Batmans, though. I do have the issue, the X-Men featuring the Dark Phoenix. That was an old one. Oop. See, in a short encyclopedia of the old versions of Marvel superheroes. I will admit, though, I did get a little burnt out when it comes to whole Marvel and DC, both movies and in comics. I'll keep it that way. Let's see here. Let's see, my favorite superhero when it comes to Marvel is Spider-Man. I really do like Spider-Man. And from DC, Batman. Because honestly, oh yeah, I used to watch Batman the Animated Series when they used to show it on the old Cartoon Network. And the fact they allowed that cartoon to exist on Cartoon Network for kids to watch. Honestly, I've never been happier. Back then, it's when there wasn't that much censorship. Well, there was, honestly. But not to the extreme as they have it now. Or at least around nowadays. And honestly, it makes me kind of miss how television used to be back then. Plus, they didn't have commercials blaring in your face every 5 minutes. Like ad revenue, ad revenue, ad revenue. To me, that seems to be the whole ad revenue thing. When it comes to both online and on cable television, seems to be pushed to the extreme. Well, not seems to be, it has been pushed to the extreme. unfortunately, sometimes it can be too much. But anyway, back to manga and comics. Manga comics. Let's see what else. Oh yeah, I collected a lot of video game art books and manuals back in my day. Oh, eventually I will find the. Hopefully, losing my train of thought here. Bleh. Hopefully, one of these days I'll be able to find the the art book for Bloodborne. Yeah, someday. I did manage to find the Dark Souls 2 art book. It's all written in Japanese too. Honestly, I'd say that was a lucky find. Got it at an anime expo convention. Let's see what else. See, I have the art book of the old game called Abe's Odyssey, or the whole Oddworld series. And to think, the whole game of Oddworld started in the 90s. And I managed to get the art book. I think I had to order it from from online to have it delivered to the bookstore. But I'm so glad that I did. Okay, not forgetting anything here. And do something about this background. Very green. Cool, cool. Let's see. Oh yeah, I got the chapter book, The Best of Lewis Carroll, the one who created Alice in Wonderland, the original story. That was pretty fun. And honestly, a whole lot more. Even some old Garfield comics. So I got the short series of Legend of Zelda's Timeline. That was an interesting one. I got oh yeah, the Gravity Falls book of Bill Cipher. Even else. Trust me, I got so many more books. It's kind of hard for me to memorize. That's some indie ones. I'm drawing a blank here. I got the full series of Courtney Crumrin by Ted Naife. Another name that's hard to pronounce. But that was an interesting comic series. Yeah, because of both cartoons and collecting books, that made me actually really fall in love to of making my own artwork and all that. Even drawing fan art and all that. Let's see. How do I want this to go? And to leave all the shadows here. So yeah, that's where most of my money throughout the years was going into. I will admit though, I'm kind of sad that most kids nowadays aren't that enthusiastic about reading. I mean, just reading anything in general. But I know there are plenty of youngins out there who still love to pick up a good book once in a while. Yeah. Honestly, I'm just nothing more than a little nerd. A little nerd on the internet. And thanks to being a nerd, I never given up drawing. Oh yeah, I even got the art book of Spirited Away and Howl's Moving Castle. I got real lucky with those. Otherwise, I won't. See. As I managed to. I think I discovered those while I was in college. While in the college library. And then I got real lucky when I realized they also had those books in the bookstore. Honestly, it has been years since I stepped into... Well, nah, it hasn't been that long. It has been years since I checked out a book from the library. And nowadays, I just, feel like, hey, I'm just gonna go down to the bookstore and just buy the book. And oh boy, back then, I used to also, from the library, used to also check out movies too. Those were the days. It's the library I used to go to. It was actually on our Air Force base. I really liked that library. Until they decided to close it down. Like, yeah, it was bound to happen. Speaking of checking out old movies, yeah, we used to have a Blockbuster. If anyone on here actually remembers that old video store. And I remember non-stop the two movies I would always wanted to rent, or ask my mom to rent it out for me, was Felix the Cat the movie, and let's see, and Katie, Kiki, and Coco, about the caterpillar and butterfly family, or Katie Meets the Aliens. That was an old one. All on old tapes VHS. I'm glad you're still able to find them here on YouTube. That is, if YouTube allows it. Sometimes, as bad as a movie is, there's still a charm to it. And I got real lucky at finding Felix the Cat the movie on VHS. Found it out at the old outdoor swap meet that we used to have. I bought it in a heartbeat, and luckily we still have very old VHS players. Let's see. But anyway, yeah, as I've said before, I collected a lot of manga and graphic novels, and honestly, I still do. Only this time, I remember to put a limit on my spending. Although, granted, I always try my hardest to save as much as I can. To this day, I do find it baffling, though, that they started banning certain books in the library, even though those books are important, with important stories to tell. I'd say that's pretty much censorship in a nutshell. I'm not sure why they want to ban books. Maybe there are certain books that need to stay away from public view. However, nowadays it seems that book banning was taken to the extreme, and the books that they actually banned, yeah, I'd say go ahead and read them. Luckily, I managed to collect some books that they try to ban in the libraries. It is interesting, though, to see how my tastes changed over the years. Or maybe not so much. I usually nowadays go for any manga or graphic novel or even a chapter book that would capture my interest. Oh yeah, here's another good comic that I also managed to pick up. I have Beneath the Trees Where Nobody Sees. That one gets bloody, but it's actually a really, really good story. At least in my opinion. Let's see, and this comic was found on, I discovered it on Webtoons. And luckily I managed to finish it off, too. Is, Everything is Fine. Yeah, that's the title of it. And I think they recently, finished that whole story. So you didn't see that ending coming, but to each his own. At least I got an ending. Ooh, a little bit nasally. And let's see. Oh yeah, this one's another interesting comic that I picked up years ago and still read to this day. It's called Safari Honeymoon. And yep, definitely as the title described it, it's a honeymoon taking place in a safari, only the animals there seem more alien. And yet the humans treat it as normal. It's fun. That's a fun takeaway. Fun way to tell a story. Ooh, let me get myself something to drink. Give me a sec. Jojo, thank you. It's gonna work on the shadows here. Recording just an hour. And make the shadows a little bit darker. And a little bit darker for this one. But yeah, sometimes I really like finding graphic novels that don't have a big following and yet still the stories are still interesting. Let's see, another one of my top favorites, and one of my best friends gave me this book for either Christmas or for my birthday a couple of years ago. It's called Be Kind, My Neighbor, written by Hugo Limbo. It's more of one of those indie storytellings, one of those indie comics, and I still follow the artist that made those books. I gotta get their secondary book too. That story was very interesting as well. A bit more adult, but still enjoyed it. Let's see, what else? Ooh, someone's really cooking in this house. I can smell it. Let's see. Oof, remember to stretch. Here we go. See, I believe I do, when it comes to chapter books, I do have a series of the 2001 Space Odyssey. Yeah, I even got the movie for it. Okay, I'll admit, sitting through the very beginning of that was a challenge. But I can also see why that movie is also a classic. Because you got, let's see, 2001 Space Odyssey, then they made the 2010 Space Odyssey. And next up, they made two more books, 2061, and then the last one, 3001. Of which I'm amazed they didn't want to make Let's see. Didn't want to do the other 2 books, making them into a movie. I'm sorry, Dave. I'm afraid I cannot do that. That iconic line. Add this on here. Luckily, I ate dinner before streaming, so now I got a bit of energy on me. I have to change the background a bit, so Hoppy here isn't blending so much with the green of the background. I could just make it maybe a bit more bluer. Just a little bit. Hey, judging by the time I got right now, this might be a slightly shorter stream than usual. But granted, I still gotta add in a bit more shadows here and there. By a bit, I mean a bit more. Let's see. See, another graphic novel that I like. And I bought this also years ago. Let's see, it's written by an author named Singelin. His name is hard to pronounce. Singelin. And the whole entire title is basically called PTSD. And yes, the comic is exactly what the title is about. But told in a very interesting way. Plus, the artwork is amazing for that comic. I did have to give myself credit, though. That I managed to donate most of my books. And I'll say it had to happen. It's a little hard to give up some things that I had nearly, let's see, for a long period of my life. Well, luckily I'm starting to get better at it. As you end up learning the hard way, especially after you have to move to different locations. But nah, I'm not complaining. Let's see. Need more of a reference. How did I draw Dog Day before? Mostly just to see the lighting. Okay. It's more brighter than usual. Lighting was clean to there. Okay. Alright. Actually, I should really change this around. I should make you a bit more yellow. A bit more yellowish. See how that would look. Oop, too much. Okay, I can see that working out. Yeah, let's see. What other graphic novels have I collected? Oh yeah, I do have The Watchmen. Let's see, that one was an interesting one. Yeah, that was an interesting one. Of course, very violent. But, yeah. Oh, algorithms. So far, so good. Now, as for this background, be a bit more like this. Ooh, bit too much. Maybe a little bit dark. So yeah, I'll stick with that. Add a color and everything else. The Amazing Digital Circus? Oh yeah, I loved it. That was a fun series. Like, it's very cool that it's a fun series that at first when you see it and seeing the animations, you think it's childish when really it's not. Ooh, wrong way. And I'm amazed that there were a lot of people who thought it was brain rot before they even had the chance to actually watch it. Let's see. My favorite characters is let's see, how can I say this without spoiling too much? Well, before the movie came out, we liked both Pomni and Kinger. It's hard for me to pinpoint which episode was my favorite, though. But yeah. And also, what I think of the characters. Let's see. Oh yeah. First off, it's pretty cool that the whole series was based off of the story I Have No Mouth and I Must Scream. So yeah. When it comes to favorite episodes, again, like I said, that's a hard one. I do like, is it episode 3? I do love episode 3 when they go through the haunted mansion. And we begin to realize that there's a lot more to Kinger than meets the eye. Let's see. Episode 8 was pretty good too. Just to say, you start learning more and more about certain characters. And to tell you the truth, what do I think of the characters in general? Let's see. I might as well do with the one that's most obvious. When it comes to Jax. Like, yeah, starts off as the jerky funny guy. And even I could tell immediately, I was like, well, yeah, my guy, you're lying through your teeth. And it's always, those type of jerky archetypes that are always hiding the more sensitive side. And I can greatly understand why a lot of people don't like Jax. Guys, yeah, jerky characters aren't really my forte either. But the way that he's written, it's actually done pretty well, all things considered. At least in my honest opinion. Let's see, Ragatha. Yeah, I can relate to Ragatha in many ways. Ragatha is also a fun character too. And let's see. There's Skangle. Skangle is a character I greatly understood. Especially after the, let's see, what episode was that? Was that episode 6? The fast food restaurant episode. I never worked in fast food, but I can understand, having to give up that certain dream in order to, you have to work in a mediocre job that you hate. Let's see. Yeah, Kangaroo's a lot of fun. Plus, I'm so glad they, let's see, throughout the episodes, they show him to not only just be the crazy character. Because some of the theories are a lot of fun too. Let's see, Zubo's another fun one. And of course, I already did mention that Pomni being one of my top favorites. I will not talk too much about the about the fandom. Like I said, when it comes to, like I said before, when it comes to fandoms, I mostly try to just stay in my little bubble. And I would interact from time to time. Just like, eh. Let's see, Kane. Kane's also a very interesting character. I can also understand the struggle that he can't exactly understand humans per se. Let me just adjust myself. I guess the stream will be at almost the exact same length as all the others, which I'm not complaining. Now that the Amazing Digital Circus technically came to an end, you can always look forward to all the other indie animations coming out. And hey, that series, The Amazing Digital Circus, had a good run. It truly did. Let's see. Honestly, I actually did draw Pomni at one point. Mostly just to test out the style and all that. I can always redraw her again a bit later. And yes, if you're wondering, I actually do have I also have an OC for the Amazing Digital Circus. Let's see, what show am I excited to see? Shows or games you're excited to see? Oh boy, that's a good question. I am looking forward to more of Knights of Guinevere and the Gaslight District, because we need more of those. And I am looking forward to, let's see, Game Oververse. See where that story is gonna go. And games. Let's see. I know they announced new games that's gonna come out soon. I may have to look up the video for it. Actually, I am looking forward to playing Pokemon Winds and Waves. I'm thinking about buying Waves, and meanwhile my sibling, she said she's gonna buy might buy the Winds so we could start trading Pokemon with each other. So that would be fun. Let's see. I know they're making a new God of War. I actually found out about that out of the blue. And I know there's more others. Like I said, I gotta go back and watch the video game. I think there was a recent video game awards videos or announcements. Let's see what's coming out. And like, yeah. Yeah, also looking forward to, I think I already repeated this, the Gaslight District. Really want to see where that story goes. Because I think that story's gonna get really, really big. Oh yeah. Let's see. Oh, favorite Pokemon? Oh, that's also another toughie. Another tough one to answer. Because when it comes to Pokemon, see, I do like the ghost type. I think the ghost types are really cool. Let's see. Ghost type and grass type. And also fairy types too. But I know they made a lot of them. Plus we're gonna get new starters. And I think for the new Pokemon game, Winds and Waves, I think I'm gonna go with the blue lizard. That one really speaks to me. Although, don't get me wrong, the fire puppy Pomeranian is cute. Okay, gonna go with this. Whoop. As cool of an effect that was, that is not what I'm looking for. Oh yeah, I forgot. I think they're also making a new Silent Hill. Looking forward to that one. Bit of a shine here and there. Yeah, once Pokemon Winds and Waves come out, hopefully not only just for the Switch 2, because I would like to be able to afford it. I'm like, yeah. because, I haven't really been paying too much attention to the video game scene. Mostly because work has been taking up most of my time, and then after work, I had to rest. Okay, add in a bit more shadows here. Cool, cool. Here. Take a sip of my orange Gatorade. Oof. Let me just stand up for a second. Oh, my legs. Ooh. Always remember to stretch. Ooh. Let's see. Guess I'll talk about this subject too. The game I'm currently playing right now is, let's see. I was playing Bioshock, but I'm giving myself a small break from it. And started playing, it's called Berry, if anyone's ever heard of it. And yes, it's exactly how the Steam reviews described it. It can be addictive. But still, it is fun. Oh, how much of the songs do we have? Oh, still got plenty. And also, I hope to those who are watching are doing alright. And please remember to hydrate. It is starting to get much warmer out there. That's pretty good. How did I draw this one again? Okay. And you know what's interesting? I've been on this planet long enough and I never played Team Fortress 2. Or even the first one. Although the animations are pretty funny. But the whole lore behind Team Fortress, it's a wild one. I had to literally sit down to a video explaining the whole lore of Team Fortress. And it's like, okay. Like, stairs weren't invented until the 70s, so which is why they had to use rocket launchers to get to the next floor. I'm like, what? Hey, at least it made it memorable. I will say this though, when it comes to video games, and hopefully nobody who works deep into the corporation could catch me saying this. Yeah, video games should not be that expensive. It really shouldn't. Like, I know it's a business, but, you also gotta realize you're trying to sell to the masses. And the masses cannot afford these prices. Like, saying the next AAA video game will be costing you your full weeks of groceries. God, I hope it doesn't come down to that. And I forgot something here. Honestly, that would be terrifying. Like, sorry, the next video game you buy will be costing you a house, your mortgage, your limbs. But yeah, been around long enough to see how, when it comes to video game prices, a little bit too outrageous. Like, if you want people to play your games, you can at least do it at a reasonable price. Oop, forgot to color this arm. See, there are plenty of video games that I never played, but watch other people play. See, there's a game called Animal Well, and that looks like to be it's a beautiful looking game, but it's also very challenging when it comes to its puzzles. Which is why I much rather watch someone else play it. Okay, is that looking alright? No, it's a bit flashy here and there, but okay. Maybe just a little bit darker when it comes to shadowing. Alright. Ooh, remember to stretch the fingers. Ah. Okay. Oh, good night, Jojo. You have a good night. Get plenty of sleep. And thank you. Cause it to go dark in certain areas here. A bit more green. Oop. Always with the wrong layer. Do, 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 do. I will say, During last week, I was very tired. It's one of those moments where you're so tired, yet you still want to do something. And that's what video games are for. But also me doodling here and there. And doing some more drawings here and there really helps me. Let's see, what else can I talk about? Oh yeah. Darn it, lost my train of thought. Oh yeah, there's 2 movies I've always wanted to see, but they came out a while ago. Should be out on DVD by now. So, 2 of them, they're both called, well not both of them, but one's called Junkhead, and the other's called The Mad God. What's cool about them, they have a lot of claymation elements in it. And eventually, once I have the time, I'll go down to our record store. I do have a record store where I live that sells old movies and all that. And see if I can purchase them. Thank God for videos and video movie stores, because nowadays it's really hard to keep affording streaming services. Well, honestly, you only stream if it's an emergency. But no, I don't think we have that many streaming services that I'm subscribed to. I think we decided to cut those off for a bit. Well, like I said, thank God for video stores in my city where I can easily just buy the physical copy. Nope. There we go. Sure, the music's still playing. Yeah. Like back in my day, we had cable and basic television, none of this streaming stuff. Also, sometimes whenever I do stress streaming, the reason why I always seem to speak more quietly, I do have my mic turned up. Or I program the mic to be more turned up than usual. Because when it comes to my family, they tend to be a little bit too nosy. Noisy and nosy. Luckily, they do knock first. Hope to those whoever's watching right now, I hope you all have a good night's sleep. And I pray no one gets headaches or migraines. Put those to an end. Although drinking lots of water does help. It helps bring down the migraines. making this more of an emerald green or a grassy green. Still, it's a pretty green. See, oh yeah, another game I'm playing on the side. I am still playing Uma Musume, or Pretty Derby, that game. Still have fun doing that. Actually, I thought about doing some Uma Musume fan art. I guess mostly drawing my, let's see, my current top favorite characters. And just something something I'm thinking about. I'll put it on the back burner. Cool. And I forgot to... Did I not color the eyes? I cannot remember. I probably did. Yeah, I did. Ah, that looks a lot better. Go. Okay. And I know there's more to draw in here. Aha! There we go. I think that's good enough. That makes it more distinct here. Close that. Yeah, that seems like the right one. Ah, that's what I'm forgetting. Need more of the design on the ears. Oop, wrong one. Yeah, that's what I'm forgetting. Right about here. I just do it like this. Then add it on to here. And then just add on everything else. cool. Yeah, I knew I was forgetting part of the design here. Okay, that looks pretty good. A bit too much. Bring that down just a little bit. I feel like this one didn't take too long. Or it could be because I haven't streamed in over a week. Okay. And this. I'll leave it like that. And alright. I gone too quiet? Just in deep concentration mode. Okay. Also, always remember to save. Okay, looks pretty good. Okay. Let's see. I wonder if this will work. Excuse me. Not that way. Whoop. I need you to come over here. There we go. Just turn that on. There we go. Thank you, Donut Cow Studios. Glad you're liking it so far. Also, welcome to the stream. That kind of works. Nah, maybe not there. Go. And I think this stream will shortly come to an end. Maybe just a little bit off the ground here. And maybe just a little bit more here. Okay. Kind of missing spots here. Alright, that's looking pretty good. Yeah, put more indentation here. Wrong brush. Alright. Seems good enough. Don't want to go too much. But yeah. Just a little bit more here. Let's now fill up the space. Okay, yeah. Oh, that does it. I'd say this is good enough. Excuse me. Alright, to those everyone who hop on, I'm gonna call it here. I'm glad everyone enjoyed me doing some quiet ramblings here and there. So I'd say I would call it a night from here. Alrighty then. Thank you for coming by. Thanks for stopping by. Thanks for watching. Alright everyone. Have a good night.